I don't have a joke for this one. Second time I've done that.
What's poppin', bitches?
Welcome back to the worst channel on all of YouTube. I'm DipperGames420, and today we're going to be taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Piccolo superhero. This one released back in April of 2022 at a retail price of roughly $38 to $40 US. These days, that's a pretty cheap price. Is he worth it? You're gonna find that out sooner or later. So moving on to Piccolo's box, it is basically standard fare, save for a couple of things here and there, like the golden background that they're using and the silver text. That's about it. You get these silver Toei Snakes Den stickers, Bandai Tamashii Nations Dragon Ball superhero logos, as well as the Tamashii Nations quality seal, designed by Tamashii Nations in Japan, Bandai Spirits made in China, S.H.Figuarts Piccolo'S superhero, and his name in Japanese. Picture of his face up on the top, his hand, his face, and his face again. Got some pictures of him on the back, as well as the usual Japanese on the bottom. Piccolo superhero on a clear window on the side, S.H.Figuarts Piccolo superhero on the side once again, and his name and face on the bottom. So that about does it for the box. Let's get Piccolo out of his pretty generic box. Here Piccolo is standing out of the box. You know the drill by this point. Let's get some comparisons in here. Objectively, two of the best figures from 2022. The one they couldn't be bothered to scale right, and miséricorde. Lastly, here he is with the three other Piccolo Juniors they've released in 2009 manga Piccolo, the SDCC 2013 Piccolo, and the Proud Namekian Piccolo. A whole lot of Piccolos aside, let's move on to superhero Piccolo's paint and sculpt. Moving into Piccolo's paint and sculpt, most of it is retooled from Proud Namekian, so I'm not going to run through all of it because you've probably seen it before. His face is pretty good. Brand new sculpt. Looks nice. Looks more like Piccolo than the old one did. The torso is nicely proportioned. Doesn't look like a middle-aged man anymore. Just straight up looks like Piccolo from all angles. He's got the same seam as Proud Namekian Piccolo on the back, because that is how much they recycled here. The actual paintwork is fine for the most part. A little bit of mismatch between the green on his arms and the green on his neck, but it's not really noticeable in person, so who gives a shit. The figure is mostly matte finished, which is a nice touch. The arms are newly molded and they're nice, I guess. There's also the front-facing pad thing. It's sloppily painted, but you're probably not going to notice it when he's on display. But there is paint on the joint, so be careful because that will inevitably scratch off. But other than that, this figure looks pretty good. The paint is a little sloppy and inconsistent around the edges, but gets the job done for the price point. Here is everything Piccolo comes with laid out of the box. To avoid wasting your time, I'm just going to run through everything real quickly. You get a gritted teeth face, a yelling face, a Makanka Sapo, special beam cannon, light of death, whatever, hand, as well as a pair of open palm key blast and fighting stance grabby hands. This is all in tandem with the smirking face and fists that he comes with by default. Pretty pitiful array of accessories, all things considered. Articulation wise, you get a ball hinge at the head and a ball peg at the neck that allow for some pretty decent combined movement. Pretty good. You get the usual side to side out of the head, 360 out of the shoulder, as well as a sleeve that I absolutely hate trying to move it because it constantly used to make a snapping sound when I move it, which makes me think it's fallen off. The shoulder can cross his chest about that far, which looks good from this angle. Looks absolutely horrendous from any other angle. Not only just because of the flesh tone butterfly joint, but because you can see straight through it. So that is horrible, and I hope Tamashii does away with this. Get a full 360 out of the bicep, double joint at the elbow, a little tight, and a wrist pivot and swivel on a rather pitiful wrist hinge. It honestly feels like it's either going to break or fall out of the socket. You can lean about that far forward, that far back, with some gapping side to side. Not too bad. Get a little bit of rotation. Get really good 90 degrees split out of his legs there. Going front to back. Get pretty similar range. Full 360 out of the thigh. Double joint at the knee. Pretty useless ankle joint. Can't really lean in that far. I can't really go out that far either. Doesn't go down and doesn't, and actually those go up pretty far. Then you get a weird looking toe hinge, but it works. So that does it for Piccolo. Let's move on from here. My overall thoughts on the superhero Piccolo S.H.Figuarts Piccolo superhero from Dragon Ball Superhero. It's a decent figure. It's not the best figure Tamashi's ever put out, but it's decent. If you don't have a Piccolo and you're looking for one, this will definitely get the job done. But if you got more money at your disposal and you're looking for a better Piccolo, then I would personally go with either the Pride Namekian or the SDCC version. This one's fine. Everything works as it should for the most part, save for those weak wrist joints that I can assure you are going to break inevitably, and the ankle joints on him are downright pathetic. Other than those two issues with him and the general lack of any accessories, it's a fine release. It's alright at the end of the day. This has been Dipper Games 420, and I'll see you guys next time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.